Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
LAVA-LITE, naturally the best. Effortlessly nourish and protect your plants with a collection of totally non-toxic, environmentally friendly, sustainable, pH neutral, lightweight and 100% natural products. The collection is made up of 8 different horticultural growing and potting media and pest control products, with each continually offering the same natural benefits: thermal protection, moisture retention and control, soil conditioning, and providing a nutrient boost, as well as being completely child, pet, and environmentally safe. Learn more at lava-lite.co.uk. Hi everyone, welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast.
Today we've got a really exciting episode for you guys, and we're already in fits and giggles. I don't know why, but we really love today's guest. We've got the editor of one of the most popular gardening magazines in the UK, Amateur Gardening. The magazine was founded in 1884, but sadly stopped production back in late 2023. But thankfully, it was resurrected just a few months later with a new publisher, a whole new look, and it made a whole nation of gardeners of all ages very happy.
And today we have that very editor, Kim Stoddart, here with us. Welcome to the podcast, Kim.
Oh, thank you so much. It's brilliant to be here.
How are you?
We love chatting with you. Yeah, like Michael was saying, we've already giggled our way through to this point. Pre-record, actually, we were recording and we were giggling and had to start again. So I think this will be really good fun.
So, Kim, tell us about you, first of all, because you're well known in garden media circles, but I think also by the gardening public now, because you are editor of Amateur Gardening and you have the most eye-catching red hair. Tell us all about you, your a little potted history.
Thank you. Well, I'm from Brighton originally, and I used to run PR companies. So I used to work with lots of big businesses, lots of environmental businesses. I also ran a social enterprise, and I sold those both to a homeless charity in what the FT described as a very unique move. It's coming up 15 years ago, and then moved to the beautiful but wild west of Wales. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to turn my absolute love of gardening into a career. And that's when I focused on the gardening writing and the courses and everything else that I'm doing now.
So you basically flipped from PR to pruning in a matter of years.
Absolutely. I used to on my weekends garden as for well-being, for sheer enjoyment, for the team that I had, the companies that the people that were working for me in the companies. It was very small, but we had a company garden. So I used to try and encourage everybody to garden. So I loved it. I've loved it from a teenage years. I can remember as a apparently quite moody teenager, according to my mum. I have a completely different recollection of being a teenager. I don't remember being moody at all, but that's another story. I remember just for the love and sheer joy of wanting to just throw some carrot seed and just experimenting with growing food, being outside in nature, and just getting so much from being in the garden.
Yeah, I completely agree. Actually, this is not plant related, but funnily enough, my sister sent me a video of me when I was a teenager and said, "Look at you, Ellen, you're so moody." And I was like, I don't remember being a moody teenager whatsoever. I'm with you on that, Kim. Why do family think we were moody, but we were totally not?
It's interesting, isn't it? We all have a different filter in life in general. So often you can be in a situation, you can see it in a different way to someone else. But yeah, I don't remember that at all. So it's whether as in teenage years we just block it out, whether we were actually moody potentially, or whether we're not at all. I don't
I
know.
think
Because we all
we're
like the
not at
plot.
all. I
Yeah,
think that
I think we should go for that, shouldn't we? Yeah, definitely.
Well, we know you've got a brilliant new book out, which we will talk about a little more later. But we'd love for you to just touch on your passion for the environment and how to grow edible crops in a changing environment as well. Because when you came to do a talk at BBC Gardeners World Live, which was really cool to meet you for the first time and actually chat with you on stage. It was really interesting. Like, you had so much to say and you're so passionate about it that we would love our listeners to hear a little bit more. So if you could tell us a bit about that, that would be great.
Thank you. Well, it really, my interest in all of these things really started again in Brighton, because I was reading lots of books about climate change and what might happen in the future. And I felt that I wanted to do something as well. So that was also part of my move to Wales and my move from a city to a very rural area with a view to experimenting with quite frontline gardening, because where I live is very exposed to the elements. It's 750 foot above sea level. It's in a very beautiful but very, say, wild part of the countryside, and we're very frontline to the weather. So actually, when I first started writing for The Guardian and doing my blog for them, which was to see if I could garden entirely for free, because I do like a challenge. I don't do things like halves. I like to take things on. So I was doing that, which was 2014, and my garden's completely flooded. They completely flooded. And so that, I thought, okay, well, this is stressful, but this is also material. So I then really started researching different ways of shoring up defences from a climate change perspective in the garden. So looking at methods like no dig, looking at things like swale, which are different things you can do to prevent against flooding. And just got really excited by the prospect of different things that you could do, permaculture ways of gardening. And I get very excitable about things. So I'm a very sort of excitable person. I have almost like a childlike enthusiasm for things. So this became almost like an obsession. So I researched it. But it's ultimately, for me now, it's very much with all my different types of experience, I just want to help people to prepare for climate change and to help them make the adaptations that are needed. But it's not just about beyond the ground things that you need to do. It's also about inner strength. It's also about the well-being and building resilience from the person up. So very much try to weave that through the work that I do.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. Today we are going to talk about amateur gardening, though, and I know you're bringing a lot of those different threads of the work that you do offline into that magazine, which is brilliant, because that is probably one of the marked changes that the magazine really has for me, I would say. And it is a complete heritage of a magazine, though. Tell us a bit about the history and kind of what happened, though, because it was withdrawn from sale. It basically closed down. And then it was resurrected, which made everyone so happy. And me as well, because I remember reading it when I was a kid. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I, like so many other people, I read about it in the news and I felt so sad. I felt overwhelmed with sadness that such a precious gem of a magazine with such a rich history had effectively, to all intents and purposes, gone under. So and Alan Titchmarsh was in the press talking about it, because he used to be deputy editor of the magazine. And I think there was like a real outpouring of love for the magazine at the time. So then I was approached by Kelsey, who very, very entrepreneurial publishing company, who saw the potential to just make a few tweets, but to help the magazine to come back. And they were looking for an editor. And because I've got a lot of experience as an entrepreneur as well as an editor, then they commissioned me to do that. So we had to bring the magazine back within 4 weeks in order to keep the newsstand space. So the last issue of the magazine it was on sale, and they kept it on sale for 3 weeks, bearing in mind it was a weekly. So they maintained a 3-week slot, but we had to keep those newsstand slots. We had to bring the magazine back within a month.
Oh, wow.
And rebrand it. And weave in a new and existing range of contributors. So the only way that it was actually physically possible for me to do that was I was thinking of ideas in my sleep. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, earlier on, Kim, you did say that you like to take a challenge, like you like a challenge. So you definitely got one with that.
Absolutely. But I loved it. Again, I felt so excited because I felt so strongly about it. So you know what it's like with the work that we all do. It's when you love what you do, it just takes it on to whole new levels of meaning. So for me, this just felt like such a precious opportunity that I just jumped at the opportunity to do that. So it was brilliant. I was very, very excited, and so much support from so many people also helped as well. I have got an amazing team.
Well, do you know what? I feel like it was maybe a good thing that this has had a kind of like, what do you call it? Like a reboot, as it were, amateur gardening, because I feel like now it's really come back with a style that brings together not just plants and gardening, but also the well-being aspects, kind of everything that has maybe become popular through social media over the last few years. Your contributors are a blend of the older guard, like TV, kind of like the usual media gardening celebs, but also newer influencers, social media people. And that is such a lovely blend. And I think you've done it brilliantly. And both Ellen and I write for the magazine, and we're so happy to be there because it feels like such a new energy, which is brilliant. Adore it.
So much. It's really, you have to be very careful when you do something like this. So there was quite a lot of change management involved, which I have experience of doing with companies. And with branding. So I needed to make sure that we spoke to the very important existing audience, the long-standing audience, but also for the sustainability of the magazine for the future, we did have to widen the reach of the audience. So the glossy cover, but also the magazine, its approach is completely organic, it's completely sustainable, but in a very non-preachy way. So it's making it incredibly hand-holding and straightforward for people to make adaptations. And again, but that also fits very much the ethos of the magazine, which was always about being a magazine for the people. It was always about making these ideas, the latest ideas, really accessible for everybody and welcoming everybody as much as we can. So that just felt so important to do. So again, for me, with the proposition of doing that with the magazine, it just ticked those boxes. I was just really excited about it. So we asked people what they wanted as well. We did a survey pretty much straight away, I think a couple of issues in. So we're always asking what people would like to see, and we just try and listen to that as much as possible, because at the end of the day, it's for the readers, the magazine.
Yeah, know your audience, and I think you definitely nailed that for sure. But I want to get to the nitty-gritty now, Kim. How on earth do you approach putting a magazine together? Like, how far ahead do you have to plan? Like, how does it all work behind the scenes?
Well, to begin with, it was very, very full on. I think that's fair to say, but I am used to a fast-paced environment with the things I've done before. When I sold my businesses, because I sold them to a charity, I had a year's worth of due diligence. So I'm used to pressure. I'm used to working to tight deadlines. I'm used to all those things. So, and it was also very much a case of I had to be involved in absolutely everything to begin with, just to get the look and the feel right. And we had to do lots of different things around that. So as the magazine has evolved, it's fortnight by fortnight as well. I've got more and more systems in place. So that means that now it's so much, for me, from a well-being perspective, I do get downtime as well. So there's a week, which is a press week. It's a dedicated press week. So that is when we are all as a team working full steam ahead on the magazine. but we actually do a lot of checking and so forth the week before. So it's it's excitable. It's really excitable, and it's like a family. It's, I think, with everyone that writes for the magazine, your good selves included, it's there's such a family feel to the magazine. Everyone's so supportive. So it's there's lots of fun and jollity that goes on behind the scenes. There's lots of sparkiness, which I think hopefully resonates through the pages of the magazine itself. I think personality is incredibly important. It's the expert advice that we give to people, but it's also the personality which helps with the well-being factor, because we are living through very stressful times right now. So we want to try and make people feel good as well as giving them advice on how to garden.
And how many, like, I think sometimes when people imagine a magazine and how it's put together, they imagine, like, you know, some big open plan office with like maybe 100 staff, or kind of like, how many people actually put together Amateur Gardening? Because obviously you've got the team of columnists, you know, like Elle and myself, kind of like different people we know. But like, how many people actually kind of like bring it all together?
Well, you've got the actual, directly on the magazine itself, there's myself and Ruth, who's deputy editor, Ruth Hayes. And then we have a consultant, which is Sue Bradley as well. So she's involved. And then you've got the wider team working actually at Kelsey. So they get involved in lots of different things with regards to the cover. So there's probably about 10 of us in total. So we do stream. It's very streamlined now, because publishing is very different to how it was 5-10 years ago. So back in the day, there would have been a huge office, but now we do all work remotely. Apart from the main office at Kelsey, which, you know, that is obviously an office building, but it's the nature of publishing now. But it also means that we're not really, really expensive. So it means that we can be really adaptable, which in itself is also very sustainable for the future for the magazine. And, you know, the magazine's doing really well as well. It's doing really well on the newsstands. It's doing really well with subscriptions. But I think if you have, in the current industry now, if you have a magazine that's really expensive to produce, that, so it's good to streamline all of that. So Kelsey are very, very entrepreneurial. So they are an absolute pleasure to work with. So it's, the magazine is such a precious gem of a magazine. And obviously I'm biased because I'm the editor, but it's important for the future. And we've got the National Amateur Gardening Magazine show, which is coming back next year. Yeah, which is, again, it just shows how Kelsey's also investing in the brand and the magazine.
So tell us a little bit about that. There's an actual magazine show. This is like BBC Gardeners Worldwide, but Amateur Gardening Magazine. How cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something that used to happen back in the day. So it was very, very popular part of the brand, and it attracted a huge audience. And what happened is there was, I think, where it was actually held, they had to change the venue, so it stopped. But people loved it. People absolutely adored the show. So we are bringing it back, and it's going to have very much the, again, the idea of connecting with the audience, lots of demonstrations, seeing people behind the scenes, a bit like a village fete, but on a much bigger scale. Very, very fun and accessible with lots of skills to be learned. And it's going to be at the South of England Showground, which is in Ardingly in West Sussex. And it's on the 12th and 13th of July this year.
Ooh, I'm going to write that down as we speak. So
yeah, that's so exciting. That's really.
You're talking at it, Michael.
Sorry?
You're talking at it.
Yeah, I know, but I definitely I'll put it in my diary. What date was it? 12th and 13th?
My goodness.
Yeah.
I just had a look and I was like, that's not there. It's there now.
Okay, great.
I'm so pleased that we're arranging Michael's diary mid-podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've got it down, but it's called AG Show.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
don't try to get out of it now, Michael. Don't try and get out of it.
Look.
There we go. The National Amateur Gardening Magazine show. But it'll be really nice, and people have been asking for it as well. So it'll be great to actually do that.
I think it's already on sale.
They've just gone on sale. Yeah, they've just gone on sale through the Amateur Gardening Magazine website.
Oh, very nice. Cool.
That's very cool. And what is the website address for listeners as well?
Um,
I think
You ever just said to the camera, I don't know?
I think that it's
if you Google
probably
Amateur Gardening magazine, it will come up.
You're too cute. You're too
amateurgardening.com. Is that
That's it. There we go.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think
Teamwork.
these
Yeah,
days,
thank you.
if you want to find something, you can find it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
That
thank
is
you.
true. Just going back to the magazine, how, what ideas specifically have gone down well with readers, and have you had any kind of really good reader feedback about the magazine, or not good? Do people get in contact with you and give you feedback?
We get so many emails and so many letters. We get a lot of letters, which is rather beautiful as well, and comments on social media. So yeah, you get the odd thing where it's there's as is the case with any magazine, that something, say for example, the subscriptions come through and there's missing a packet of seeds. So we have a customer service department that gets straight onto that and deals with it. But otherwise, no, the feedback is incredibly supportive. People were so excited when the magazine came back. And in terms of what people like particularly, I think people write in to say they have content they particularly enjoy, contributors' content. They also enjoy anything that's wildlife friendly. There's an awful lot of interest in wildlife friendly gardening, which we do so much of. Also, there's people talk about all sorts of things, actually. I get so many letters as well. There was one chap, I'll tell you this because it's really funny. He wrote in, and it's fine because I'm not mentioning his name. He wrote in and he flagged up that Andrew Oldham used to have a picture on his profile. He had like his spade over the shoulder. And he wrote in to let us know that was quite dangerous. So he just felt a little bit concerned that people might want to emulate Andrew and have a spade over his shoulder. So I did actually get a different picture of Andrew. So I do try and listen. And he was so touched by the fact that we did that. He actually wrote in and said, thank you so much. He was like overwhelmed with joy, effectively. So it's great. It's really quirky as well. It's really nice.
Yeah,
that's really sweet. He's looking out for people's well-being.
Absolutely. So yeah, all sorts of things. We do a lot with, I was very mindful of, again, the need to, for example, cover things like peat-free compost, and we went straight into that as well. And, we don't shy away from issues that might be deemed to be a little bit more topical, but we do it in such a way that it just seems to really resonate, because we try and make these things incredibly accessible for people. So even with that, peat-free, and we've not had anyone unhappy with that or complaining or anything at all, just very, very supportive. So obviously I might check my inbox tomorrow and I might find something different, but the support, just incredibly supportive. I've been so touched, and you'll hear, we're here, the team at our virtual, the cliff face of the magazine. So we do what we do, and it's not particularly glamorous, but it's great. We love it. And then you go to events and we just get such great feedback from people. It's so lovely. We don't need that, but it is so nice to see how well the magazine's going down.
That is cool. You must feel amazing. Kind of, what do you see this year? Obviously, you've got the Amateur Gardening Show coming up. Any changes you'll make in the magazine, like new contributors or different ways you're going to present things, or any plans for the magazine that you can tell us about today?
I don't like to sit still, so I like to always be thinking of ideas. I'm an ideas person, so it's important for me to try and weave in new series, new things, working around, again, I know there's topics that I know the audience will love. So again, more traditional topics as well, because that's sort of the bread and butter, as it were, but to weave in lots of new ideas. So say, for example, forest gardening is very on trend this year, the idea of edimentals. So we just got straight onto that. So it's great that we have brainstorming meetings. We look at what's happening now. We think about people that might be good to include in the magazine. So we love ideas. absolutely love ideas, and it's just great to keep ahead of the game, keep the magazine looking pretty as well, just trying to bring smile to people's faces, and also to help people cope with the extremes of weather that we're contending with. So, last year was very difficult for gardeners. There's no other way of putting it. It was incredibly difficult. We had slug gates repeatedly, and it was also, people just felt, I think, really quite down at times about the difficulties with the weather. So again, so for me, last year, but also over winter, we try and bring in even more personality just to make people smile, because that feels like that's part of our job as well.
That's really, really nice. But you're telling us all this stuff about, your meetings and how you plan everything out. I just have no idea how you manage to juggle everything, being the editor of the magazine and all the other stuff that you do. So do you have any tips for listeners on how to balance a busy, work situation with also being able to squeeze in some gardening for wellness? Like, how do you do it?
Organic veg, that for starters, so a bit like Popeye, but not obviously with the spinach, but eating lots of organic vegetables, and for me it's about, also I've done a lot of well-being work over the years. I've actually run projects for young adults with a difference. So I've done lots of, like you have, Ellen, I've done lots of work around emotional regulation, well-being. Actually, when I was running the PR companies, I used to do a lot of talk in the media about work-life balance, the irony. So I do have a lot of this knowledge about ways of, stepping away from the inbox. So when I go to press, I do have a digital detox for a few days. So I do actually step away from all screens. And give myself that space. Oh, sorry, Michael.
Is that easy to do? Step away from the screens? Any tips for listeners on that?
Well, to begin with, it's quite tricky because you feel, should I do this? Should I not? Is it okay? But I think if you just tell people what you're doing, I think that's fine. So I think it's fine then if you sort of lay the boundary that's what you're doing, that's okay. So you've got things like the out of office that you can put on. And I think also from an email perspective, I think it's perfectly fine to reply within a certain period of time. So if you feel, what do you feel comfortable with? For me, I feel that if I respond to an email, generally from, say, the publisher within a day, that's absolutely fine during the week. So there's just little tips and tricks that you can do to help with that type of thing. And then it's making it personal to you. We're all different. So it's about going, in my case, going outside, just, stepping away, even like gardening. You can feel the pressure to take photographs while you're gardening because you need to have content for the magazine and social media. So I try and just garden first for gardening's joy, and go for a walk, do some exercise. I do a lot of yoga as well. And then I can then think, right, great, okay, I've done that. I'm emotionally regulated, recharge my batteries, let's go.
Let's go. And it definitely seems like you do. Just go.
I do have a lot of energy as an individual, so that does help as well.
Very good.
But I think that's actually really inspirational, because the reason you can keep just going is because you know when and how to stop as well. So I think that's really, that's very useful. Definitely.
Yeah, it's the self-care is, again, it's very personal. Different people like doing different things. Obviously, we're talking gardening here. So gardening is such an amazing thing to do. We all know that. And it can feel quite overwhelming sometimes if you're really busy and you step into the garden and you might feel that you've got a long exacting to-do list of stuff. So that can sort of be slightly counterproductive to the idea of gardening and well-being. So I tune into wildlife. I walk around, you can walk around, you can touch things, you can, harvest produce. Again, there's different ways of actually tuning into the garden. And then I really like free-spirited ways of gardening. So rather than feeling I have to do something, I like the option to be free and to think, no, I'm going to do something else. I've looked at this, I can see this, I think I'm going to do that instead. And oh no, I think I'll do a bit of this. So there's different ways of doing it. But for me, that works incredibly well when I know that during the day I do have long to-do lists, and obviously I've got exacting deadlines that need to be met. So that's really special, just to be able to play. I like playing in the garden. It's really fun. I like experimenting and, just doing what feels right at the time.
That is really cool. Wow. Oh, but talking of the garden, tell us about your book that was released last year about the climate change garden, which is still proven very popular. And I think that book will continue to go from strength to strength. Give us a bit more information about what is in that book and where listeners can get hold of it as well.
Thank you. It's widely available. I'm going to hold a copy here as well. Again, just hug my book. There's the Climate Change Garden, which was the first book that came out, which is for gardening overall. And that's now the version that was published by Cool Springs, which is part of the Quarto Group, is for it's for gardens everywhere. And then my most recent book, The Climate Change Resilient Vegetable Garden, is obviously focused on vegetable gardening, but it really taps into the approach that I took when I was writing for The Guardian, which is about, it's a bit badly behaved gardener. It's very much free-spirited gardening, and it's resilient gardening. It's how to adapt, the on-the-ground solutions of how to cope with extremes of weather, but it's also about personal empowerment, very much so. So it's about the well-being side of it. It's offering hope for the future, and it's being described. I think one of the best things I've heard it described as is it's like a friend. It's like a friend in a book. It's like hand-holding advice that that helps you with all of this, because it is quite depressing when you look at climate change, obviously, and all the things that are happening. But there is hope, and there are opportunities as well through changing the way that we garden. So it's a hopeful book with all the solutions as well and things you need to do.
It's like Kim in a book. That's what it is. Kim,
I hope so. Thank you. I do think so. I do like to be really upbeat, and so it's the sort of ethos that I take basically in a book.
Yeah, it is a really great book. So thank you very much for that. Can you tell us where listeners can find out more about you, where they can order the book from, and Amateur Gardening Magazine as well?
Thank you. The book is widely available, so it's available online Amazon, anywhere like that, most of the main book retailers. Through my website, which is greenrocketcourses.co.uk, there's also information about the book. And I'm on Instagram, Kim_Stoddart as well. So there's information about me on there. And then with Amateur Gardening Magazine, it's there's the website address that you kindly gave out before that I didn't remember. Thank you. And it's widely available. If you just Google it, there's loads of different subscription options as well. And we've got an amazing subscription offer at the moment, which is a January sale subscription offer as well, which is absolutely fantastic and well worth a look.
Okay. Sounds good to me. So, Kim, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast to give us some inspiration for, good gardening. That's how I like to call it. Climate resilient gardening, work-life balance. So you work in the horticulture industry and you get out in the garden. So I think all of that together is bundled up into good gardening. So that's what I'm going to call you from now on, Kim.
Oh, thank you.
Gardener.
Can I just say, sorry, I didn't say this, and I must say this as well. Thank you so much, Ellen. You've got a wellbeing series in the magazine at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. which is, again, all about how to use the garden, how to tune into the garden and use it for well-being, for personal well-being during winter months. And Michael, your column just shines as well. It's absolutely fantastic. It makes me smile every time I read your words. So thank you so much, both of you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for asking us. I actually had someone message me on Instagram, which I picked up this morning, and she'd said that she has had to go on to some medication because she's unwell with something. It means she can never drink alcohol again, and she felt really, really down. Not that she goes out drinking all the time, clearly, but she'd read the column in Amateur Gardening magazine about mocktails with flowers, and she said it really brightened up her day, and she's going to go and make them and let me know how she gets on. And I just thought, that's so lovely.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Ellen, would you mind asking her if she's okay to have that printed in the magazine? Would that be all right?
Yeah, I'll ask her. Yeah, absolutely.
That's so lovely, isn't it? To know. I mean, think how many other people have been touched as well off the back of that. That's just one person, but I'm sure there's loads of people that have felt, moved by that in different ways. But yeah, if that's okay, if you wouldn't mind asking her.
Yeah, absolutely. I will ask her. I won't put her name out there now, but you do know her, Kim. No. I'll ask her to get in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for today. Love it.
Oh, no, it's absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Hello, cushions. This is going to be a great conversation. I think Ellen's cushions will give me a much better chat than she does. Oh, here she is. What a shame. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're recording, so be ready.
Well, thanks for reminding me.
I wonder what it would be like to have a chat with your cushions, actually.
Do you want to try?
And what? Have a chat with your cushions?
Do you want to try and have a chat with my cushions?
Yeah,
I'll go away again. I'm happy to go away again if you like.
Just step out for a minute. Yeah, please. I'm not even joking. So what's it like living with Ellen? She's a bit much sometimes, but she got a good heart, I think. Yeah, I know. What is that pattern on you? It's nice, actually. I decided I'm going to chat up your cushions instead, since it's Valentine's. I like your angles. Do you know what a cushion chop is?
What a cushion?
I'm talking to you now, not the cushions.
Hi.
You know what a cushion chop is?
No.
It's this thing. I only learned it yesterday, where you got the cushion, and it's like maybe, someone's cleaned it. I was just going to say the cleaners cleaned it, but I was like, that would sound very middle class. Maybe you've cleaned it yourself. And the cushion, you put it back on the sofa, and then you chop the middle. So it has this little dent in the top, which looks really stupid. Apparently it's called a cushion chop.
And the cushion chop is a middle class thing?
I'm not sure, but it's a middle class thing to have someone that cleans your cushions.
I mean, here's a...
Yeah, that's it. You just chopped it. Well done, girl.
But that looks silly now.
It does look stupid, yeah. But it's a thing apparently.
Anyway,
I've got a friend who's into cushions.
Great conversation about cushions.
So what's going on then?
Oh, I hate it when you ask me that and I don't have anything.
You hate it when I ask how you are. You're always do everything not to answer.
It's like I don't know what to tell you that's exciting.
I know. Oh, have a look at my rosemary. It's not a euphemism.
Oh, thank goodness.
Do you know what? It's sunny here today and it's almost like the whole of the UK woke up. Do you know what I mean?
That's so nice. Also, I could
they should be awake other days as well, to be honest.
I mean, every day, ideally. We are recording this on Valentine's Day.
Brings us extra energy,
It does. I was going to say to you about the sun shining in behind you. That does look really beautiful.
Oh, it does look exemplary, actually. But it means that you see the dust.
I can't see the dust, only you. So
That's such a mum thing to say, isn't it?
I'm going to take a picture of... Yeah, that is very true. Oh, I love that you suddenly posed when I said I was going to take a photo. I've done it. I've got your best angle. Don't worry.
I'm going to have to get rid of my pond. I think it smells of poo. I'm over having a pond indoors, to be honest.
Stagnant water, isn't it? Because it's not flowing at all.
Yeah, I'm over it. I've got to have a proper redesign of the lounge. Well, not redesign, but when I moved here, I just chucked everything everywhere. But do you know what I did today, Ellen?
What, Michael?
You know this thing like Air Tasker?
No.
No? Oh,
No.
You must have seen it. The adverts in an American accent. You must know it. It's basically like TaskRabbit. You know TaskRabbit?
Yes.
Where you pay someone to like come and do stuff. And I did it today for the first time ever.
Okay.
And I have to say, I now understand it because I'd been like, did you see that IKEA cabinet that I tried to make?
Yes.
Yeah, that completely was failed. Yeah, exactly. And now I paid someone to do it properly. And the mental anguish that has now left my body, I cannot explain. There's a puddle, honestly. I feel so good just to pay like relatively low cost to have this made and 2 little cabinets, honestly, because it just, I feel like I got so many things to do and things that I can't, that are not in my skill set, and just.
Do you know how middle class you are actually?
No, I'm not middle class.
Someone to build my IKEA cabinet.
No, but it's like getting me the space that I need to kind of like mentally as much as anything, as well as physically and time. And I'm justifying myself to you, and now you're laughing. I
know, I'm really sorry, but you were saying about middle class, and then you were like, and I paid a relatively low price to get somebody else to build my...
shut up! You're horrible. No, honestly, because like, you know, I'm not going to explain myself again. Go away. You can tell me what you're up to now.
Honestly, you were talking about the sunshine. It is spring here, and everything's going up, and it is just
not
so
spring.
amazing. Not quite, but the
It's not
spring.
spring till March. This is something that annoys me on Instagram. Everyone's like, "Oh, first signs of spring." It's like, hell, just because you saw a daffodil doesn't mean it's spring. Anyway, sorry.
You are feisty today.
I'm so sorry.
Literally, you are.
I've had some licorice, that's why.
Oh, so not coffee, not coffee.
Anyway, so you finish your sentence first. It was very uncouth.
No, I don't think I can, because you're a very busy person today, it would seem.
Sorry.
Your mouth is very busy.
So you got a bit of sun. It's not spring. Expand on that.
We got some sun, and I've got iris in bloom, and it's just lovely. And the other day there was a mockingbird sitting outside, and it sung all day and it never stopped, and it was just lovely.
How annoying.
How annoying.
Or not.
Say that. What's wrong with you?
I'm joking, you William Tell. But I just wish it was always spring. It's the best one, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it was always spring, then you would crave summer and winter, or autumn.
I just wish it was a bit longer, because or maybe I love them because they're so fleeting, but things like, you talk about like reticulator iris, the dwarf ones.
Yeah,
like, they're only in flower for like a few days. I would love that to be a longer period of time, because they're just so special and fragrant and drenched in colour as well.
I think that's why they're like special, and why you get happy to see them.
Yeah, I guess
not around for long, but they just give you that little
I just adore spring.
It gives you a little glimmer that spring is around the corner. You know, it's not saying it's spring, everything's amazing, because it's actually freezing cold outside today. But it is sunny.
We talked before about telling how we navigate through the year with the flowers that bloom.
Yeah.
And it's just...
And we do.
Yeah, but I also feel, because we have that ability and awareness, that the year goes quicker for us than anyone else.
I think if you go with the seasons and you're looking for the next flower to bloom, or tree to blossom, or whatever, I think
I need to give up flowers, then I feel like I have a longer life.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Hey, I'm going to California next week.
Yeah, what for?
I'm going.
Business?
I'm having a holiday, Michael.
You're always on holiday.
I'm always on holiday. I'm having an actual week holiday.
In Venice?
Huh?
In Venice?
In Venice? No, what, Venice Beach? No.
Yeah, I love it there.
I am going to the Sequoia National Forest, to hang out in the giant redwoods.
Yeah.
And then going up to Yosemite to spend a few days at Yosemite. And then we happen to have booked the weekend that the Horsetail Falls are on, and that's where in the evening, when the sun sets, if it's at a specific angle, it makes the waterfall look like it's on fire. And it only happens on certain days of the year, and we didn't realise that that's when we booked it. But anyway, we'll be there to see that as well.
Oh, that's cool, darling.
Coming back all the way down from San Francisco down the coastline.
Oh, cool. I love that route. Oh, wow.
Back into LA. So, and
because you're going up from LA through Yosemite and then up San Francisco and then down.
So we'll come out of LA, go up to the National Forest, up through
Sierra Nevada as well, right? Is that?
We won't be going to Nevada.
Oh,
no.
that's a little bit further over,
This bit's all in California, and then back down the coast. Although part of the road is closed, so we'll work that out when we're there.
I love all that route, honestly. Oh my God.
Can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. But it will be like a holiday of two tales because it will be hot in LA or warm, but in Yosemite,
absolutely
freezing and snowy.
I always found that amazing when if you drive down the other side into Death Valley, then it's like so many extremes. It's like insane.
Death Valley is completely awesome. We did that when we were in Arizona, and then I think were we in Arizona? Yeah, and then we drove over to Death Valley, which was just completely and utterly epic landscape. Yeah. But no, we're not doing that this time. We are, however, my husband is super happy because we booked to go and see the LA Lakers play basketball, and they happen to be playing our local team. So we're fitting all the things in to keep everybody happy. Tree hugging, basketball, hiking in Yosemite, and back down the coast.
Oh, that's cute. Nice.
Yay.
Really happy for you.
Thank you.
I feel like I need a holiday, actually.
You're always away.
I'm not.
You literally just said that to me. You're always on holiday.
Well, honestly, I had a wonderful 3 weeks in Europe, but it tired me out a bit. I'm a bit and especially because this week I've been back into a lot of stuff, and I didn't really have that. Yeah, it's kind of teaching me to add that buffer here and there. But sometimes it's not easy, but you just need to just manage it and kind of get little portions of time, So which is cute.
Do you have a few days now, or are you at QVC?
Yeah, to be honest, on the weekend, I'm just seeing friends and stuff. And nice. I had some work I really wanted to get on top of today, and I did that. I got loads of other stuff to do, but nothing that I don't need to do until next week. You know, basically, because I'm sure you're the same. You want to get back to people sooner, but it's not like they're really waiting for it sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you've got a deadline, that's cool. But I don't know, sometimes because we're conscientious, we're just kind of I want to get back to that person, but they're probably not expecting it yet. Or it's up to you, you know?
Yeah. Well. They're not sitting around waiting just for your response.
Yeah, it's get over yourself. Oh, dear.
When you were in Europe, tell us some of the top things that you saw or found plant-wise.
Ooh la la, I can't remember now. You'll have to read my Substack, Ellen.
Okay, thanks.
Lots of wonderful stuff there.
Oh, you can pick us just a few for the podcast.
Oh my God, I really can't remember now. Tabletop Hebes. Beautiful little dwarf Hebes that you could grow on a tabletop. Also little miniature rhododendrons for tabletop. I'm very obsessed with tabletop at the moment. Okay. I'm also obsessed with forever bedding, which is perennials that you can use in place of bedding. Things like agapanthus, alstroemeria, things that flower for longer. Kind of modern urban jungle is something I've been talking about a lot, kind of hardy exotics or things that have an exotic feel that are actually deceptively easy. So, banana plants are going to grow perfectly well outside, or tree ferns, in the summer. Mm-hmm. And you compare those up with some stuff like dahlias and gladioli to have a really, really lovely tropical feeling for, relative ease, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I'm kind of into that vibe at the moment. And maybe a patio cottage garden. Yeah. What do we call that? Urban cottage core.
Urban cottage core.
Yeah. So shorter, lovely perennials like delphiniums, like multi-branching ones like Highlander, which are fantastic for pots,
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for asking me, Ellen. That's really nice. Yeah.
I'm just looking for the inspiration, that's all.
I went to a wonderful day at Pershaw this week.
Yeah. Yeah, so you done a talk there, didn't you?
Oh, really cool guy called Ross Dyke. He runs the Plant Pod. And, oh my God, he put together this amazing day, this conference. And it was everything from air pruning of roots to using drones to kind of the future of garden centres and different marketing things. What else? The HTA, their wonderful research on... They do some mystery shopper stuff in the garden centres. And they showed us some of those videos, and it's really interesting to kind of hear what customers say and the different ways they look at stuff, because they had a herb display and the customers were then sniffing them and then they would then go to buy them. And it was funny, the comments they made, it was really interesting and very enlightening as well. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was like, what was it? They found it strange that it was 5 for £11 or something. Yeah, just funny little comments.
The customer found it strange it was 5 for £11.
Yeah, but it just tells you little bits about psychology of customers, I guess. But yeah, it was insight that I'd never seen before, so that was cool.
That's very cool.
And I talked really about, I said this to you the other day, didn't I? Like, they asked me to talk about, like, how I do what I do, I hate saying the words, like, how I became a success. It sounds horrible saying that sentence, because they just want me to kind of, I don't know, share my secret sauce, something like that. So I kind of like really took them through my career and kind of like the way I behave in business as well. Like, staying positive, you could write 100 emails, but you might only get reply to one, but you have to get over that. All the stuff that we talk about, like sometimes don't take it personally, but sometimes you might need to take it personally because it might be about you, all of this stuff. And it was really, I think it was well,
that's cool.
It was well received. And did I show you this? Did I show you this? Oh, I did, didn't I?
You did, yes.
This person messaged me on Instagram and she said, oh, your talk on Wednesday was fantastic. I didn't expect to like you as much as I did.
She said, I didn't want to like you.
Didn't want to like you, that's it. Isn't that funny?
I know how she feels, I know.
I didn't want to ask, but like I think I replied and then she said something else, which then told me what she meant. And it was because, which is really weird, because in her eyes, she saw me as like some TV personality, which I even hate saying that phrase because it's just like, oh my God, get over yourself again. But like, this is what she said. But I don't see that at all. I go out and do a lot of stuff, industry stuff. Yeah, I do some stuff on QVC, but this is like, I wouldn't put myself, I would certainly not call myself a TV personality. And so I think maybe that was her first way that she came across me. And she said, because she saw the words TV personality and that's what she thought, she just didn't assume that someone like that would have a good commercial awareness and kind of be supportive of growers and different stuff that's happening in the industry, and even care about that stuff outside of like, gardening and the usual kind of stuff that they talk about. So yeah, it was really interesting because that tells you something between the lines, but also it's interesting what people think you're about. Isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But she didn't realise until I was there today, like my whole kind of backdrop of experience in the industry. So it's, I think it's like, it's kind of cool to prove people wrong as well sometimes in a weird way. I don't know.
Get that. Like you are
really funny.
A TV personality, whether you like it or not. You are, but you come with this incredible commercial awareness and incredible thorough understanding of plants, and so you have that background, and I don't think that you should ever feel awkward saying you're successful, because actually that's inspirational to people. And it gives
true, but it's weird words to utter, isn't it?
I get that.
Yeah. So even though I know it's good to talk to yourself positively, but it's just it's funny. Really weird. But
you can do it without being kind of big-headed about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the key, isn't it? So the last few weeks I've done quite a few horticultural career coaching sessions with people.
Oh, yeah.
So just, and you've had this before where people ask you how you do what you do. Yeah. And you do have to say like the kind of things that you do in order to give that inspiration to someone who looks at you and admires you and says, I want to do what you do. So you shouldn't feel awkward to say that you've been a success. You've written in this magazine.
Well, yeah. And also by putting yourself out there in an advisory role, that's almost saying you are successful, isn't it, as well? So kind of that is said in a way. But it's nice to be able to help other people as well.
Absolutely. Really, really
But
nice.
also, do you find like it still needs to come out of someone themselves a bit? Do you know what I mean? Because you can give someone instructions and stuff, but like, well, it shouldn't be instructions. It should be just kind of prompting almost.
It's just guidance. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Ultimately, if you want to be successful in any industry, in any sector, doing anything, you have to be your authentic self, full stop. And if you don't push you, and if you don't have the personality or the knowledge, then it won't happen. So ultimately it rests on you. But those people who have, like you, have that experience and expertise, being guided by someone like you is really inspirational, and it can give someone the boost that they need to go out there and do their thing. So standing up in front of a room at a college and talking about what you've done is super cool. You certainly shouldn't be embarrassed to say
ooh la la
about your success, your middle class success, now that you can pay for someone else to build your
I'm never middle class. Oh, geez. But it's funny, like, I think whatever you think you are, people will always make their mind up themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally, yeah. They have a perception of you, and that's
whatever you put out there. So like sometimes it's really, you can't get too hung up on that. Do you know what I mean? Because whatever you put there,
and often someone's judgment of you or their perception of you is actually based upon themselves, or people that they know who you remind them of, or they've seen before, and there's so many aspects to why someone sees you in a certain way, and you can't always change that. So that's fine,
Interesting.
Just be you.
That's
that, really.
All right then. Good night.
I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that in regards to that conversation.
I met a lady that listened to the podcast as well. Actually, she was listening to it on the way. It's really sweet because, like, you don't always because with a podcast, you don't get much kind of feedback in that way. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a Instagram post and someone replies. It's like, I wonder if they will start being able to comment on podcasts at one point in the future.
Probably.
Because honestly, they could comment down below in Apple, couldn't they?
More people are starting to film their podcasts, aren't they, and put the video out there. So I think people probably will comment more.
True. Down on YouTube, you would,
rather than just sound. But talking about people who listen, I mentioned in maybe the last gossip or the gossip before that we'd gone to look at a farm, because I'd love to have a small holding or something, or a farm, and rescue some animals. All those lovely idyllic may or may not ever happen. And out of the blue, my mum texted me, chat, something, and then she said, I hope you get your small holding. And all the farm emojis,
He's obviously listening now. Do you realise as well?
I know, and I thought, well, I don't think I've had that conversation with you.
Ellen. Oh, Ellen. Oh, no. How did it go down? Oh my God!
I didn't respond to that bit. No, I think I said
after this episode goes out,
I did. I think I said that's a dream. So I think genuinely she's always known that I would love to do that, but that's not been discussed for years, maybe.
But
do you know
now it's in Technicolor.
I was kind of like, I think my mum, if you're listening, love you, mum.
That's so funny.
I apologise for Michael's swearing.
It is. We've talked about this before, but it is funny, or scary what our parents might know about us. For anyone that uses social media, actually, your parents probably have got this window to you, and they're one of those weird accounts that you probably think is a bot. That is 2719 or something.
My mum joined Instagram some time ago, and I think I texted you when she did and went, my mum's name just popped up as following.
It's all over now. Oh yeah, you could remove her as a follower.
It'd
probably take a while to notice, so you'll be all right. Although probably our parents probably only follow a few people.
Yeah, so they'll know if you're not following them or if they can't see your stuff.
Happy Valentine's, Ellen.
Well, I did try to start this recording with a happy Valentine's, but you were...
Oh, did you? I was too busy to talk to your cushions.
Yeah, you were literally off on one. So, happy Valentine's, Michael.
Oh, thank you, Ellen. That's really nice of you to say.
Did you get any secret Valentines?
No, I don't think so. I haven't been down to the post box. I don't expect it.
You might have a sack full. Do you remember as kids we used to do Valentine's cards and put them in the post box at school? Did you ever?
No, but yeah.
So we used to, everyone would write a card, like to my Valentine and from ? And put it in the school post box. And then the morning of Valentine's Day, you would get your card from whoever sent it. But the teachers never wanted anyone to not get a card. So if there was anyone that didn't get a card, the teacher would write it.
Okay.
It was so cute.
I felt like other years. Some years it's like it's really been rammed down your throat a bit, like Valentine's, in an almost halfway to Christmas type way, almost feeling like that. But I barely noticed it, to be honest.
No, it's not been massive at all. I think it's been massive for all the florists, but it hasn't been. I haven't noticed it.
But usually everyone is talking about it, but it felt very different. So,
but I just think that a lot of people just don't want all that fuss anymore, do they? I just think we've toned it down.
No, true. So this
Valentine's.
Did you see my reel today that we did for QVC?
I did. I liked it and commented on it, obviously.
Oh, have a look again. Wasn't it hilarious?
It's hilarious, Michael. This is seed dating, yeah? I like the fact
Listen to it. It's lovely. We acted our little hearts out.
I liked it when you turned to the camera and raised your eyebrow.
Did you like when Anushka came in? Ready?
Can't hear it very well.
I knew it.
Emma throws the seeds at me. It's so funny. Oh, they didn't show the bit where she actually threw the seeds at me. They hit me on the nose. Because I was cheating on her. No, yeah, cheating on her with Anushka. It was role play. But we were seed dating, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's very clever and in creative.
It wasn't my idea, so yeah. Why do so many people, Ellen, this is another subject right now, so strap in. Why do so many people have their curtains closed in the middle of the day? So weird, isn't it? Maybe
they work night shifts and they're sleeping in the day.
But maybe some people, Ellen, right? Yeah. Some people live a very indoor life, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, I think that makes people ill.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally, for sure.
Well, you need to get outside as soon as possible in the morning to get everything regulated anyway.
Absolutely.
So weird, because but they
there
don't
might
even
be a
realise.
reason why they have the curtains closed. I noticed that the houses opposite us are south-facing and the sun is so strong they have to keep their blinds closed all day. Yeah. Because it would just be roasting in their house the whole time. So maybe there's reasons why.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it's in England, so it's not that hot.
Maybe they worked a night shift. You never know.
Can you answer me a question? It's not personal. Okay. In terms of you've been out and about and you've seen some spring wildflowers and things like that. Is there much? Is it do you see different things that you would be used to, or anything exciting, or do you see trillium?
This time of year?
Yeah, or maybe a bit too early still.
I think it's a little bit too early.
Answer me for last year then.
The iris that I was saying about is on my balcony that I planted. Do you know what I mean?
I just wonder what stuff is in the wild that is cool.
What's in the wild that's cool? I mean, honestly, springtime is very similar to here. I don't ever see snowdrops here though. So late winter snowdrops I don't see. You'll still get daffodils. I don't see many tulips. I think they wilt in the heat a little bit too soon. There's all of the same kind of things that you would see popping up on a lawn, like your dandelions and your red dead daffodil. I'll tell you something that does grow crazy here, and that's wild garlic. I mean, it's everywhere. It's so invasive. It's just absolutely everywhere. Yeah. What else do I see in spring? I can't think of anything that's any different.
Do you not have trilliums there, or is that further north? Trillium?
We have trilliums here, but they're in woodland generally.
Yeah. Oh, I mean woodland. That's my question is woodland.
Oh, okay. Well, I think most wildflowers you would find perhaps a little later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. I'll ask you again in 2 weeks.
I'll say again in a few weeks and I'll see what's changed. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to last year. Lots of arum lilies pop up around.
Okay.
I'll have a think about it for next time.
Oh, thank you. That's really sweet of you to give so much thought into your answer. That's really nice of you. Yeah.
Oh, you're so sarcastic.
Yeah. Oh, no worries. Thank you.
Like, you're not even listening anymore anyway. You really asked me that question so you could go on your phone for a bit.
I was just tiding you over. I'm going for acupuncture in 31 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're really going for all the
date
wellness
with 4
stuff,
friends.
aren't you? Stretching and acupuncture and Reiki and all the
Yeah, I know. Stretching is amazing, actually. Defo.
Definitely looked like he was moving you around a lot.
Thank you, Ellen.
Did it make you need to go to the toilet? That's what I thought when I saw it.
No, actually, no.
Ah, that's amazing.
I didn't expect that, though.
What?
That it would cause me to want to urinate.
I think the other way, actually. Number 2.
Oh, really? Aha. That's what licorice does.
Oh, that's why you're jigging around.
Maybe, yeah. Great.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to let you go off to your acupuncture appointment, if you like.
That's cool. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It's with Kim Stoddart. Kim, Ellen.
Kim Stoddart Kim is like double-barreled surname.
Talking about wonderful Amateur Gardening magazine and how it gets put together,
Yeah.
etc.
She's very cool.
She
She's
is.
really great person, really knowledgeable, and I love the magazine as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to like her, but I did.
Didn't want
I
to
love
like
that
her.
line.
That's going to be
I
the
never
line
wanted to
for
like her,
everyone
but I
now,
did.
isn't it? We can use that for every single guest.
Oh, okay. Oh, I might watch Severance on fast forward.
Oh, okay. What? Why?
Well, why wouldn't you?
Oh, okay. I'm in the
New
middle of
episode is out today,
1923 at the moment, so
Oh, really?
yeah, I love it.
Ooh la la.
I love it. All right then. Lots of love on Valentine's Day. Why doesn't Zoom do that thing? You know, like when you do this on FaceTime, it gives you hearts.
Is it?
Hard to make a heart.
I feel like it. I don't know. There's a new way to do a heart apparently, but I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Oh, you got your fingers together.
Oh, I'm not getting in that.
Oh, no, that's awkward. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you, darling. Happy Christmas. See you soon, babe.
Bye.
Cowabunga. Introducing our sponsors, LAVA-LITE. LAVA-LITE Plus, the orange one. LAVA-LITE Plus is a natural grow media all-rounder. It's perfect for borders and great as a pot topper, both in the home and the garden. It offers thermal protection for cold winter nights, as well as holding up to 25% moisture. Look out for it online and in your local gardening stores. The music for the Plant-Based podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.